Hi, welcome to my presentation of my programming project, which is a mastermind computer game. I'm Yap Junjie, a student from CSC1024 Programming Principles. So I'm going to explain my program and trace it with you together. Before that, I would like to let you know that there are 5 user-defined functions in this program. First of all, we create a secret list to store 6 strings that represent 6 possible colors and store them into a variable called colors. We assign a true value into a sentinel value called again in order to control the while loop below. And there is an accumulator to accumulate how many guesses the user took. Once program enter the loop, round equal to round plus 1. After variable initialization, we call create secret function. We bring in colors as an argument. This function is to create a secret list with random order and color. So we bring in colors as an input parameter. In this case, the color parameter here and the colors variable we saw just now are using the same name in order to ease me to recognize what is it. In this function, we import a random library and create an empty list called secret list. There is a for loop which will run 4 times to append 4 elements into secret list. In the for loop, computer program will randomly choose a number between 0 to 5 using random integer function and store the number into index variable. Then we append string from colors to secret list using slicing technique. If let's say the random integer function has generated 0, 2, 2, 5, therefore secret list will be holding a list with blue, yellow, yellow, orange, and it will be returned to the function caller. After that, we store the data from function caller into a variable called secret list, and then we call explain function. As you can see, this function is keeping a numbers of printing function, and this function is to explain the game rules to the user. After that, we enter to the while loop since the again is equal to true, round equal to round plus 1, and then print the color list to provide color choices to user. So this is what we will see when we run the program. After that, we call guess function in order to get user input for their guessing. In this function, we create an empty list called guess list, and there is also an accumulator to control the while loop below. So this while loop is to get 4 user inputs. Once count is smaller than 5, it will enter the loop. The program will print sequence plus count and ask user to input the answer they guess. And then the input value will be stored into a variable called guess. Then the guess will be converted into lowercase. There is an if-else statement for data validation. If guess is in the color list, then append it into guess list, and then count equal to count plus 1. If not in the color list, then print an error message to the user. So in this example, we can see that uppercase and lowercase are allowed. However, when invalid value was detected by program will display an error message and ask user to enter again. So finally, the program will return guess list to guess function caller, and then store it into a variable called guess list as well, and then print it out in order to ease user to refer back what he has inputted. After that, the program will call check answer function. We bring in secret list and guess list as arguments. In this function, we will create a local variable called correct position for accumulating how many colors the user got right in correct position. Then we call a nested function called checkColor function. We bring in those 2 arguments. This function is to check how many colors the user got right. First, we create a new list and put in the data from secret list to a new local variable called secret color. In this for loop, the pointer x will point each data in the guess list. If the similar string from guess list is appended in secret color also, then the string value will be removed from secret color, and then correct color plus 1. The local variable called correct color is to accumulating how many colors the user got right. Since there are only 4 elements in the guess list, this for loop will only loop 4 times. After the for loop is finished, then return correct color to function caller. In this example, secret color equal to a list of blue, yellow, yellow, orange. Guess list equal to a list of red, yellow, blue, blue. So eventually, the correct color should be equal to 2. So the function caller will store a return value which is a number of 2 into a local variable called correct color as well. After that, we'll use a for loop to loop 4 times in order to check if the element in the guest list is the right color and in the right position. There's an if statement to check the condition. Let us look at the example below. So for example, for count equal to 0, then enter the loop. Is secret list index 0, which is blue, equal to guest list index 0, which is red? No, then we skip the code below. For count equal to 1, is secret list index 1 equal to guest list index 1? Yes, both of them are yellow, so we enter to the code block. Correct position equal to correct position plus 1, and correct color equal to correct color minus 1. So in the example, finally the both variables will holding the same data, which is 1, and then return them by putting them into a list. After that, we store the list into a variable called result and display the result to user by using slicing technique. This if statement will check whether the user win the game. As long as the result is fulfilled to the condition, it will print the winning message to the user and tell them how many rounds they guessed. Finally, assign a false value into a game. Therefore, the while loop will stop and the whole program is finished. This example shows that if the condition is not fulfilled, the program will display the result and repeat the while loop again. And this is how the user interface looks like when they win the game. So this is all of my presentation. Thanks for watching.